hope you guys had a good holiday. I hope you guys had either Christmas or Hanukkah or celebrated the Spaghetti Monster or Old Greg. I hope you guys have a good New Year's Day celebrations. I know we've been kind of absent for a while. After the holidays, we had some bad weather, and now we're getting all of our ducks in a row to start buying parts for the General Grievous. And we are getting our ducks in a row for all the Jeep events that we are planning for the spring and the summer. So hopefully things work out. I do the whole prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So even though we are putting our ducks in a row, nothing's set in stone until it's done. So, but I keep getting stopped and asked, what are the things I love and dislike about my build? Let's go through it, and I'm just going to go through a list of some of the things. If I ramble, I am sorry. I like to ramble. I like to tell stories, especially if they involve Kathryn here. So if I ramble, I am really sorry. But I'll try to stick to the list. I'll try to keep it short. Things I like. I like the fact that she's a Grand Cherokee. Not your typical Jeep build. Not discrediting all the Grand Cherokee guys out there. A lot of you guys have some nice builds. But also the overbuilt Grand Cherokees either have seen a lot of rock and not enough road. And they've been beaten to hell. And it's nice to see that they are showing the Wranglers up a little bit and showing that they can do stuff. And if all you guys that have really, really well built, like good looking Jeep builds, they've seen too much road and not enough rock. if that kind of translates a little bit. I wanted Kathryn to be that nice middle ground. I wanted her to be extremely functional, no matter what the situation is, but also aesthetically pleasing. Another thing I love about Kathryn here is my history with her. Yeah, we've had her for 15 years. Dated my wife with her. Got married. She was our getaway Jeep. Brought my kids home from the hospital in her. Helped make them in her. For all you adults out there. Yeah, that's the one thing I love about this Jeep is the history. As for the build, I love the fact that I got my hands and did all this. I was the one that pulled the headliner out and ripped all this off and redid it all. I was the one that pulled the center console out of here, stripped it down, painted it, resoldered all the old solder and redid it all. Is it perfect? No. Could it have done better? Yeah. There's a lot of things that could have been done better. Like this roll cage. This roll cage, I need to probably rip it out and redo it. It went in. It's nice. I think it could have done better. It's supposed to be nice and snug up against this, and it's not. I can use it as a handle, an oh shit handle, and it shouldn't be this way. The Raptor liner paint, I love it. I think it's awesome. Could have done better? Yeah, I could have prepped the surfaces better. I could have made sure that overspray on some areas was covered better. I could have done it not outside. So there's things that if I could go back and redo it, I could have done better. I love that I ripped the carpet out. I mean, I pulled the carpet out, put the Raptor liner in. It's so nice to clean up. But what I hate is the fact that I could have done better. Could have pulled the old sound dampening crap out, put new stuff in, the heat and the sound dampening stuff in there, and then Raptor line it. It would have made her a lot more quieter. And I mean, the heater is good, but when we were having negative 30 weather, it was keeping up. I wasn't cold by any means, but it wasn't blowing like the hot air that I'm used to. I used to be able to freaking take the bikini off of a hooker in here. It was freaking hot. The front bumper. I love the front bumper, but the front bumper I wanted wasn't the one I ordered. I thought I ordered the one I wanted, but I ordered the JCR do-it-yourself front bumper instead of the do-it-yourself off-road bumper, which was made actually in Oregon. They don't even make the bumper anymore. You have to buy the plans, and then you take it somewhere else and have a CNC machine make it for you, and then you weld it together. They don't even make it no more. They just give you the plans. I guess it's fine. You don't have to worry about shipping. You just get a digital copy, and then you have to find a local shop to do it for you now. What else? I love the fact that I'm still getting good gas mileage out here. I'm getting about 12 in town, 17, 18, 20 if I'm like really conservative on the highway. The seatbelts. Cops can't miss bright orange. I don't care how orange the Jeep is, how orange my beard is. Cops try to pull me over saying they can't see a seatbelt. I'm sorry, you must be colorblind. Because these are brighter than the Jeep, and these are brighter than my hair. And I don't normally wear orange. Actually, this maroon shirt is probably the closest shade of red or orange I will ever wear. Overall, I'm just pure impressed about everything. Just doing things myself, something that I've just out of my wheelhouse, doing something different. I can't pinpoint every single little things that just I like. The overall project. Now I can nitpick about every little thing I don't enjoy, but the things is that when you do a project and having that, this is something I built, and having that pride is awesome. What else do I enjoy about this Jeep? The attention. I'm not normally an attention getter, an attention seeker. This is the attention that it gets, is that especially during the lockdown. When we were having our lockdowns and I was traveling, there were people so starving for human contact. We would get stopped and asked questions about Kathryn. It was just everywhere I went. Didn't matter. We would stop at a gas station. Normally it would be a 10-15 minute ordeal, fill up the gas tank, get the kids some snacks, and off we go if it was any other car. When we start traveling, it's usually a half an hour to an hour ordeal because we get stopped and asked and we talk. This is me rambling for a minute, but there was one guy in particular that really, it pulled at my heartstrings, and I don't know if he remembers this as much as I will, because I mean, he was crying. I wasn't crying at the time, but it definitely pulls at my heartstrings as further away we get from the incident. We were talking again. The conversation started with Kathryn, and it rolled into his life story. And normally, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to hear everyone's life story. I am an open ear, but sometimes it's like there's a time and place. But this guy seemed like he had that demeanor, like he needed someone to talk to. You know, you kind of get that vibe off of somebody. Needless to say, after this whole conversation, he asked the most strangest question that I've ever asked from a stranger. And a guy at that, too. And this dude looked like he's been out in the fields, busting ass his whole life. He asked if he can get a hug. Just have a hug. He needed a hug. Yeah, I gave the dude a hug. The guy seemed like he needed it a lot. That kind of thing is going to stay with me probably for the rest of my life. And that wouldn't have happened normally. That happened with this Jeep. You can't just go and ignore stuff like that. And that's what I like about this is, I know it irritates my wife sometimes because she wants to get on the road. When someone stops and asks questions and stuff, you know, I'm an open ear sometimes. Yeah, there are those days I'm in a hurry, but you never know. You never know about if it wasn't for that hug, who knows where that guy would have been tomorrow. You know, and so that's one thing I like about this Jeep. It starts conversations, you get to know people's stories, and sometimes you can affect someone's life. And so I know she's affected my life a lot. I know she affects a lot of other people's lives. and in a good way. I don't ever hope it's a bad way. Now, the things I don't like. Where to begin? There's a reason why building her up was a learning experience. I wasted so much money learning. Just learning. There's a couple things I could have done differently. I rushed it. I felt like I rushed the project. And some of the evidence you can see. You can see it. She looks good, but a lot of it you can tell it's a rush job. And if I could strip her all the way down again, maybe with some help, and redo it all, I would gladly, in a heartbeat, strip her all the way down again to the bare bones and redo everything. Just because I feel like I rushed everything. And I feel like I'm going to pay for it later in the future. Another thing is that normally I don't let other people work on my rig. And having a shop work on the axles, doing work that I have never done before, saved me some time and saved me some learning experience. But here I am, a year and a half later, now tearing apart those axles, fixing whatever's wrong with them. It's the headache. It's the headache of having a project. That's the one thing it drives me up the wall. Yeah, every time it seems like when I try to upgrade something, she's down for a month or two and not have to keep messing with it. But then I realize how much I actually enjoy working on her, how much it gives me pleasure to know that I fixed the problem and she's running better, and that it's my Jeep. I own it, and anything goes wrong with it, it's usually my fault. What else? Not getting all the product that I actually wanted, but have to compromise the shit that I had to get. Oh, another thing I can't. This is more of a gripe about the industry, not less gripe about the project. You gotta scour the internet. Got to scour the internet for ZJ aftermarket anything. It is freaking ridiculous. But if you own a JK or JL or any other form of the Wranglers, Quadratec's there for you. Quadratec has a handful of things for the ZJ, but not enough. They have that front bumper that I have, and the rear bumper, but that's it. Half the stuff that's even on this Jeep, Quadratec doesn't even have listed. But yeah, scouring the internet for these parts just for the ZJ is a pain in the rear end. And some of you ZJ owners probably know this too. It's a pain in the butt. Either we have to make compromises or fabricate it ourselves, or stay up, 2-3 days in a row scouring the internet looking for something stupid, or going on the God forbid forums that don't help. Well, you should just Google it. You're like, well, I would if it was helpful. I think us CJ owners need just to actually not criticize each other and actually try to help each other out. Yes, there are simple projects that are just like, come on, dude, you should know how to fix this already. You have a ZJ. It's a simple fix. But some of these kids that are getting these old Jeeps don't know. That's why, I'm grateful for people like Dan and Doug who do videos about the ZJs and the Cherokees. And, they're not like all the other Jeep videos out there that are all about the Wranglers, Now, we do have some repair videos coming up. We did find a supplier for metal. We're just trying to talk to them about a good price for some of the stuff that we need to get. For the rocker panels for the General. We're going to go and try to get everything situated and taken care of for getting all the parts for him. We are saving up for other events. There is a Mopar Mania going on in Little Rock in May. We are going to try to hit the Jeep Easter event in April. So these are the things that we're going to try to hit and do. Are trying to get the general up and ready for these long trips. Trying to get Kathryn up and ready for these long trips. We're going to be doing a lower engine rebuild on Kathryn. So I'll probably be filming that for you guys. We're going to be changing the oil pan, or the oil pump. We're going to be changing the connecting rod bearings and the main bearings on the the crankshaft. She's got 300,000 miles, never been replaced, and ever since we had that nut that fell in cylinder 8, she's just not been the same. I've been trying to diagnose everything. We got new rocker arms, new push rods, new cam rollers, hydraulic cam rollers. They all helped, but they didn't fix the issue. We're going to start from the bottom end. I'm going to inspect cylinder 8, because on top, when we pulled the head off, the cylinder looked fine from the top. It didn't look bad. It didn't. So underneath, when we pull the oil pan off, I'm going to inspect that connecting rod, and we'll see how that turns out. Don't tell the old lady, but I don't want to replace connecting rods and pistons, but at the same time, I kind of am. I have some high performance connecting rods and pistons I want to put in her that will give her better compression. Not too much. I don't want her to turn to a race car. Just enough to pull all this extra weight. To give her a little extra oomph. But at the same time, I don't want it so bad that it damages that crankshaft. So far, she's running. So far, she's great. She's been running for the last 2 years, going on 2 years now, without any problems. Just an annoying knocking noise, a ticking noise. It sounds like a lifter knock, but you can tell that it's not. It doesn't sound like, the best way to describe it, it sounds like one, but when you pay attention to it, you know it's not a lifter knock. And it's not like I'm not running high, I'm running high mileage motor oil, and I'm putting zinc in it to give it that extra love, and it's not doing extra damage to it. I do put some Lucas in it just to give it some extra love, the extra thickness. I'm hoping that after I replace those bearings on that, I don't ever have to need that Lucas ever again. Not for a while. Not for a long while. Cross our fingers that we don't need to replace the crankshaft. If we have to replace the crankshaft, that's some more downtime. And I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling. That's pretty much what I did, is rambled. God, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. Just little things. Just little things in this build that get under my skin a little bit, and a lot of it's just little stuff. But overall, I love her. I love this build. I absolutely enjoy building it. I enjoy driving her. I love taking her out to go mudding, taking her out to go rock crawling, trailing. I can't wait until we start doing the same to the General. The good thing about the General is I'm not in a hurry. We not have to rush it. If I can cancel events if I have to. The only event that we are slated to actually have to show up toward is the Mopar Mania, and there is the Overland Expo in the Pacific Northwest Overland Expo in Redmond, Oregon. It's where I grew up. So tickets already been paid for. and everything's already set up, scheduled, everything's ready to go. We just need to go there. Plans of visiting friends and family, hitting some trails. There's some Jeep Badge of Honor trails in Tillamook that we want to hit. So there's those. I think in Little Rock, I think a little bit further down south, there's like one or two Badge of Honor trails that we also want to hit. So to get the General and Kathryn some badges. I know there's some in Missouri, but the General's height will be the issue with some of those trails. So I would like to get him lifted a little bit before we hit those trails. Yeah, so our goal eventually, what I'm hoping when we get everything all settled and taken care of, is we're going to start hitting all those Badge of Honor trails. And we're going to go from the easiest for my wife's sake and working our way up to the hardest. Not saying that she can't do it. It's just to build her confidence up. Not just her confidence in doing the trail, but her confidence in the General. And my confidence in not just Kathryn and the General, but my confidence in her ability as well. So I think the easiest trail that's on the Jeep Badge of Honors is in Florida. But I think we're going to be we might hit that first before we hit any others. But I have friends in Tillamook, so if we do go in Tillamook, I have people that can come rescue us. So there's that. So we'll see how we are at Little Rock first, if we want to risk it or not. I think without looking at it, I think it's a moderate to low to moderate trail. It's not nothing crazy. The Tillamook one, depending on the weather, depends on the difficulty. From my friends who've done it to people who I've talked to who've done it, if it's dry, like we're going to be going during July, it should be dry. But it's also the coastal mountains, so it's the coastal mountains. Sometimes they get summer rain, sometimes they don't. It really depends. It is also Oregon. It is in the valley area. So Central Oregon, I can guarantee, dry as bone. The valley, though, that's a gamble. Coastal mountains, they get more rain than the valley, so we'll see how that turns out. If it rains, it's more difficult than if it doesn't, if it's dry. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll play that one by ear. But yeah, once the General's built up, we'll start our trips through hitting all the Badge of Honor trails, and then once we hit them all, then we'll start traveling all of the national parks. And I think after we hit all the national parks, then we'll just start traveling, hitting all the states, so that we can do something neat in every state. Visit all the states so we can say we've done them all. And once I feel that the family's comfortable and we've gotten all of our gear ironed down the way we like it, and we got the Jeeps ironed down the way we like it, and we got all the gremlins ironed out, then the mother trip that we want to do, that we've been eyeballing for a long time, it's the trip going from Alaska to the edge of Peru, the Trans-American Highway. I got a couple of friends that want to do it too, and I told them that I want them to also kind of get their gear in order, get their get everything all ironed out so that we can go as a convoy. Knowing me, knowing my luck, it's just going to be my wife and I. So we'll see how that turns out, but most likely that's going to be a couple years down the road. The kids are going to be much older. We might have my son driving by then. He's 10 now. I'm hoping it doesn't take 6 years, but we'll see. But, like I said, I wanted to make sure that we're all ready and prepared for it. Plus, I want them to be fluent in Spanish and in Portuguese before we head out. Just because we are entering their country, I'm not expecting them to know English. I'm expecting us to know their language. So I think that's a respect thing. It's us respecting them and their culture, since we're going to be there to visit them and visit their culture and experience their culture. That is what what's the whole reason, that goal, that whole trip. They say it takes about 6 months to do that trip. Knowing us, because how we like to enjoy people's other cultures, it's probably going to take us a lot longer than that. It'll probably take us about a year to get down to Peru, probably a year to get back. But who knows? When we get to Peru, we might ship the Jeeps to New Zealand. We'll see how things go. I know we've been talking about going international if things work out. But that's if things work out. Those are goals. Goals change, and we'll see how things go. I just know that those are our goals, is to do that trail or do that highway. And yeah, once we do that highway, after we've seen every state in the union, we want to even travel to her territories and see how those are. And eventually, maybe even travel the world. We'll see if the Jeeps are willing to do that. Maybe we might upgrade from there. We'll see. We'll see how things work out. And those are goals. Like I said, goals change. But yeah, glad you guys listened to my rambling. This is a boring video. I know, nothing fun. No trails, no nothing. It's July. It's good weather today, but that can last for, a little bit. I know, I think in a couple day or two, Kathryn's going to go up on jack stands again, and we'll be dropping that oil pan and start working on those bearings. So, trail rides are as soon as I get those bearings fixed. Not really. I mean, I feel like I got rushed in finishing this project, and I regret it. I wish I took my time. I wish I didn't feel rushed. She's got issues still that I'm ironing out, still has some gremlins. And we're going to be pretty much doing an engine rebuild without pulling the engine out. Other than that, I got nothing else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, this is probably one of the most boring videos, just me rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and share, subscribe, all that YouTube BS. I don't normally say that. I don't believe in yelling at that down your guys' throats. But yeah, it's a hobby. So every time I see that subscribe ticket going up, it kind of gets me all excited. Makes me want to keep doing more videos. So, yeah, just let me know if I'm doing a good job. Tell me what you guys want to keep seeing, and I'll try to accommodate.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.